Hello, guys. So today we'll talk about good news for immortality. Good news. Longevity escape velocity might be coming very, very, very soon. Much sooner than people expect. So the reading, this is a FDA approved service, okay, which is the Anti-Aging Study Institute. They basically approve. They basically are now funding, okay. They are now funding anti they're now funding rejuvenation therapies to make you not AIDS. Okay? To make you no longer get old. So it seems like humanity is finally understand that we need to master the physical realm. We need to master and beat the physical realm. Again, most people assume that, oh yeah, we have to eventually become one with God. People don't realize that us humanity and all other organisms, we are the gods, okay, of this universe, okay? We are the gods. And we are we're part of okay, we're all separate beings, okay? We always will be, okay? But again, when we unite as humanity, okay, when we unite and we finally understand, okay, Dale, when you finally understand and master the physical realm, which means defeating aging, which means gain immortality, in the physical realm, okay, and then you have to master the metaphysical realm, okay. It is basically a 2-for-2 world. You have to master both realms, okay. That's how evolution is, okay. You basically reincarnate until you master both the physical and non-physical realm, and you know, you have to have an understanding of both. Humanity needs to have an understanding of both the spirit realm and both the physical realm. And of course, you don't understand it, and you still believe in the materialist, communist, atheist ideology that is constantly thrown down your throats when you're a kid. Okay, we all know materialism and is basically a communist ideology. Okay, communism is basically an ideology focused around materialism. That's what communism is. It's an ideology. It is basically a religion based around materialism and materialistic values. Okay, that's what communism truly is. Okay, not capitalism. Communism is essentially a materialistic society, because at least capitalism at least allows people to be spiritual. They allow people to accept spirit. Communism does not allow people to be religious. Okay, they support. For example, let's use China. For example, China, they are immediately anti-religious. Okay, even anti-spiritual as well. And China is essentially an atheist, communist, materialistic state. Okay, and again, okay, that's how the Chinese government works. Same thing with North Korea. Okay, same thing with Cuba. Same thing with Laos and Vietnam. Okay, there are some countries that are still recovering from this. The Czech Republic and Estonia. They're two of the least religious countries in the world. And especially today's youth, where they're rejecting. Of course, I'm not talking about mainstream religion. Okay, mainstream religion is pretty detrimental. Okay, mainstream religion is essentially basically mainstream religion puts fear and death as if you do bad, you will be punished for it. Okay, God and the universe always forgives you. Okay, they always forgive you, and the universe always loves you. The universe knows who you are and knows all the things and stuff you have ever done. Okay, the universe, the collective universal consciousness, okay, okay, wants us to reincarnate because we evolve through reincarnation, okay? And we're soon about to end that evolution. Humanity is soon about to end that evolution of reincarnation, okay? We're soon about to end the evolution and transcend the evolution, okay? So it's very, very good that the Anti-Aging Institute, the Anti-Aging institute, which is basically the FDA is now essentially, which the anti-aging branch of the FDA is now approving rejuvenation therapies. This is very, very, very good for humanity because humanity is going to need to master the physical world. Okay, we all know you don't die after death. Okay, we all no, not we all know. I know. Okay, but the point of existence is to master existence. Master existence. Okay, is to master it on all levels. To realize that we can become gods. Okay, so first, first is mastering the physical plane, which we're about to do. The AI, digital immortality, as well. We're soon about to master the physical realm, as well. Okay, we're soon about to master physical realm. Of course, the physical universe has always existed. Okay, we will create. Your soul was created trillions of years ago, billions or trillions of years ago. Okay, the universe is technically as old as your soul. Okay, your universe is actually likely as old as your soul, because that's where you began. That's when you were created by the universe to evolve. The universe, which is reality, is your training ground for your evolution. Okay, we have been evolving throughout millions and billions of years, throughout different life forms, throughout different animals and varying levels of consciousness. Okay, we started all from single cell, and the single cell phase is the longest phase of your journey. The single cell phase is your longest journey. Okay, most souls, which is 50% of them, never make it past. Are still stuck on the single cell phase. Okay, then you go to the beginning of multicellular organisms, the most simple, like clams, sponges, all that stuff. You go through, and then you just go through higher levels until you reach intelligent life, until you reach intelligence. And then you keep reincarnating as intelligent creatures until you learn to transcend the simulation, until you learn to transcend death itself. Okay, and become immortal. Okay, become immortal and beat the natural rules of the universe. So once you master the physical realm of existence, you're gonna have to master the metaphysical realm of existence. Basically, what they say in the future, technology will soon be allowed to allow you to master the metaphysical realm of existence. Okay. Which is why, when you see most people, when they talk about reincarnating on other planets, most of these, stories, most of these aliens, which are also intelligent life forms, most of the more advanced ones were more spiritual. Okay? More of these more advanced races were spiritual. They were not following a ideology of communism, atheism, and materialism. Because materialism, which is the way that schools have been teaching you, okay, the way you live your life, the way to live your life, but again, there's so many people that are questioning, there's no proof of an afterlife, okay? You are living proof of an afterlife. Your existence is living proof of an afterlife, okay? It's just astonishing, okay? You have people that are vividly remembering their past lives, as well. Like, you don't need to remember your past life as a bacteria on, 14 billion years ago. Okay, you don't need to remember that, because that's a very, very, very pointless thing to remember. Okay, you don't need to remember being a sponge. I remember being a sponge, but you don't need to remember being a sponge or remember being a dinosaur. Okay, and of course there are failed levels of consciousness. Failed conscious organisms. For example, dinosaurs. Because of the mass extinction 65 million years ago, most people who are in dinosaur bodies could not pass. They had to go to different planets or go to different planets to learn to master the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to live. Okay, the meaning of life is to live. That's why creatures have been reincarnated for millions of years, basically. But the whole point of, again, I'll go to reincarnation in of massive detail in one episode, Dell. But Dell, you know, and explain how it's a natural law and rule of the universe. Okay, but again, we understand so little about the universe. We understand so little. Okay, Big Bang is another materialistic, you know, philosophy that's no different than mainstream religion. Okay, but again, according to Big Bang, the universe has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's of course the Big Bang theory in a nutshell. Of course, there's no beginning or end to the universe. Okay, that is a materialistic view of society. That's basically because, according to the Big Bang Theory, there's a beginning and end of the universe. So it's essentially a materialistic view of the universe. That's essentially what the Big Bang Theory is. It's a materialistic view of the universe. Okay, so basically, solving aging, solving the problem of aging. Again, there's a lot of benefits society will come to it, but cracking immortality is the whole goal of living. That's why creatures don't want to die. They want to survive. Okay, living is all about survival. It is all about survival, and evolution. Okay, living is all about survival and evolution. Okay, that's all it has been and how it all will be. Okay, living is all about survival, evolution, and reincarnation. Okay, it's all about that. Okay, I'll explain what reincarnation is and how it really works down. And reincarnation is basically about evolution, down. Right down. Okay, but the universal truth is being hidden from us for the materialistic view of the universe, which is basically a start of a Big Bang. That is a materialistic view of the universe. Okay, the material, there. So it is very, very, very encouraging that science is now finally starting to understand that the materialistic view of the universe is false. Science is slowly starting to figure out that materialism is false. Okay, let's look at the recent discovery in, lucid dreaming. They're finally starting to admit that there's more than consciousness, than just the mind, than just consciousness being created by the mind, which is, of course, that's the materialistic view of the universe. That's the materialistic view of the universe, and we have to overcome the materialistic view of the universe. Okay, the journey to immortality is something that all creatures want to achieve. Okay, and then once a race becomes immortal, they transcend reality. Okay, they don't need to die and reincarnate anymore because they already have gained immortality. And then they have to master the spiritual aspect of life. That's the other. It's basically the yin and yang. You have physical immortality, okay, biological immortality, and you have spiritual immortality. Your spirit's already immortal. Your spirit never dies. Your soul never dies. Consciousness never dies. It cannot be created or destroyed. Never, ever, ever. Consciousness cannot be created or destroyed. Okay? And it can never be created or destroyed. Okay? Actually, consciousness was created, but it was created by the universe. But consciousness cannot be destroyed. Okay? The universe created the consciousness, but it cannot be destroyed. Okay? Once again, since the universe existed forever, consciousness cannot be created or destroyed, essentially, because consciousness starts the journey of life. Consciousness, once again, I have said many, many times, I have lived millions and millions of times, and I'll likely live millions and millions of times again. But again, I believe most people around Gen Z and around millennials are starting near the end of evolution. Okay, near the end of their evolution, which is gaining immortality by, of course, using science to end stuff like getting, aging, and just basically, being safe and mastering the physical realm of reality. That's what it is about. Okay. Yes, some people don't want to live in the physical realm of reality, but the physical realm of reality is an important part of reality. It is where we evolve. It is why we exist. We evolve through the physical realm of reality. We evolve through the physical realm. So, it's all, and science is now only starting to realize the truths. Okay, there's now entire organizations, entire companies, and studies into the afterlife, the near-death studies. There's also now studies into reincarnation, and it's now slowly being scientifically accepted that there's an afterlife, that there's a spiritual world, that all living beings and all creatures have a soul, and that we all have lived before. Okay, that's how we reach intelligence. Okay, we reach intelligence through reincarnation. We reach that essentially like that. But again, I said that like 4 or 5 times already. Okay, I'll go into reincarnation in more of a better term. But yep, longevity escape velocity is something that all souls want to reach, because if you become immortal, you don't have to worry about dying. Okay, and then you're gonna have to master the understanding and nature of this universe. That is the next key to immortality. Once you have mastered the physical world, which is what humans are about to do, you're gonna have to master physical world, and eventually humanity will become a god-like race. Okay, god-like race, a multiversal race, where we have presence in multiple universes, not just our own. Okay, multiple universes, where we as a collective unite and essentially become a godlike race. Which again is one of the more interesting scenarios for the Fermi paradox to lucid, because all races do this. It is a destiny of a race, and again, by the time we become a godlike race, we can choose to become physical or non-physical. Okay, enter both physical and non-physical realms of reality through technology, which again is what people call transhumanism. But that's only the natural step in the evolution of intelligence. Okay, you as a mind, you as the eternal conscious mind, is always seeking to evolve and get better through time. Okay, always seeking to evolve and get smarter through each reincarnation. Each reincarnation, you get smarter. Essentially, you gain intelligence. Okay, and eventually, once, of course, you master the physical realm, whereas again, what science is now trying to do, again, they're inadvertently doing something. They're inadvertently rediscovering the spirit and the spiritual world. Though inadvertently, through study of near-death experiences and reincarnation, because there are actual scientists that are discovering that, this is reincarnation is the actual natural law of the universe. Or you look at I don't remember his name, but there was a guy who had a near-death experience again, and he was on, and he was told by the universe himself, that everything reincarnates in the universe. Okay, which is true. Everything reincarnates in the universe. So there. But eventually, we will become to a point where we don't need to reincarnate. And no, it is not letting go of this realm. It is because this physical realm, we have a choice to make the physical realm heaven or hell. Currently, humanity is making it hell. That's why you have so many depressed people. That's why you have so many people who don't want to live on this planet, because they would rather live in the spirit world in a non-physical realm than have to live in a world that is full of hate, suffering, evil, and ego, basically. Full of destruction and hate, full of, bad people. But once people realize the truth and values of our universe, okay, once people realize that, hey, there were, there's no reason to fear death, because that is one way to transcend it. You have to eliminate the fear of death, okay? Eliminate it and accept the immortality, okay, which is coming. So again, I'm not telling you should go into a style and jump like that. You still die and have to reincarnate if you go into a style, of course. If you jump into the sun, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm telling you that we all know that the truth is out there. We all know that science will soon about to wake up to the truth that, again, science continues to deny, of course, which is the spiritual realm. They always say it's just hallucinations, okay? Even though everybody who has supposedly had it, who has had a near-death experience, according to science, it's a supposedly a hallucination or a process of a dying brain to scan itself to survive, okay? Again, there's a lot of evidence going against that, okay? For example, if it was a hallucination, then blind people wouldn't be able to see, okay? See in a hallucination, okay? For example, blind people were able to see for the first time through a near-death experience. Same thing with kids. They didn't have no belief, okay? Or same thing with people who were not even hospitals. They still had these. The near-death experience is a universal thing. Of course, I think there's a reason why only 20% of people remember it, because the universe, the collective universal consciousness does not selects who has a near-death experience, because the universal consciousness and your consciousness chooses what happens in your life. Your higher mind chooses it. So, chooses your life. But again, I already discussed that in the video game analogy, and how life is essentially just a video game, essentially. You beat the level. You beat the levels, essentially. So yep, it's very, very, very exciting that getting rid of the prospect of death is something. So death will be, and again, in the future, death will be nothing to be feared. Because once people find out that the universe is actually more of a spiritual universe, they'll find that there's no fear in death, because it's a spiritual world. We live in a spiritual electrical plasma one universe. There's no such thing as a Big Bang. There's no such thing as a big crunch or big rip or end of the universe, like mainstream science always tries to tell you. There's no such thing as end of the universe. The universe does not end. Okay? It took me 19 years to wake up and realize that. Okay? Because, to realize that this universe, again, it's our universe. There are other universes out there, of course. There are other universes out there. This is our universe. This universes, just like consciousness, cannot be created or destroyed. Okay? Unless a being of such high power, for example, Zeno from Dragon Ball Z, but our universe cannot be created or destroyed. It is eternal and has always existed. Okay? Same thing with consciousness. Your consciousness always existed. It has always existed, and it's eternal and it's immortal. Okay? And it seems that science is finally starting to realize that the materialist, communist, atheist view on life is falling. And they're going to try to grasp onto this materialistic, atheist view of life. This materialistic, atheist view of life, and ignore it. Same thing with the Big Bang Theory, which is again a materialistic view of society. Okay, materialistic view of the universe. That everything must have a beginning and an end. You know, there. So yep, there we go. Humanity is soon about to become a godlike race. Humanity is on the verge. But we need to abandon the materialistic, communist, atheist view of the world. Okay? The informatically materialistic view of, the world. And yes, even mainstream Abrahamic religious view of the world. Of course, it can still, go to church and stuff, but the whole, judgment thing, the whole, oh, if you do bad, you go to hell, okay? No, think about it. No God would subject people to torture. No God would torture a soul, okay? You gotta really think about it. No God, would torture someone, okay? Because God is a loving and all-caring being. Of course, there is the hellish and the ease, but those are very, very rare. And again, those ones happen so people can learn a lesson from them. That's because God is teaching them something, and it's supposed to be a learning experience. There. Okay? There is no such thing as hell. Okay? We create hell. Okay? There's no such thing as hell. We are creating hell on Earth. Okay? We are creating hell on our planet. And there is a way we can make Earth not hell. First of all, let's be kind of. I used to be a very, very unkind person. Okay? I used to be one of the least unkind people on the planet. Okay? But very, very recently, I have changed. I am definitely far more kinder than I used to be. Okay? I'm not a perfect person because nobody is perfect. No one is perfect and no one ever will be perfect. Okay? But I am definitely improving myself. Improving myself as well. Okay? And once humanity accepts the fact that they can become an immortal, eternal, godlike race, well, we are the ones who become a multiversal, immortal, godlike race. Okay? Society will be much more happier. And people will realize that they don't need to make our planet hell. That's why there's a lot of people who don't want to live forever. Why? Because humanity is making Earth hell. And there is a way we can fix that. That's basically it about this video. Goodbye.